right, today we're going to talk about the question for today, as you can see, is what do you want your legacy to be? Otherwise stated, what do you want your grandkids, your adult grandkids, to say about you? Now, I've thought about this question and I've come to a very simple conclusion because I've known some amazing people who have been able to do this. I have a 101-year-old friend who's 101 years old now. And when I met him, he was 99. His name is Don. And, we have an expectation. When I met him, I was thinking he would be deaf. I was thinking he would have trouble getting around. I mean, you imagine somebody who's 99 years old, and you imagine someone that's, a little bit old and a little bit decrepit, one might say. And so, I knock on the door, expecting him to, have to, bang on the door really hard, and then he'll be like, hey, like I mean, I've known people in their 98, 99, but they're basically on death's door. I knock on the door, and I was not expecting what I heard. And very youthful, come on in. And I'm like, I wonder if he's here. I walk in, and I see this guy just smiling and just full of life and energy. And I'm just talking normally with him, and he understands everything I'm saying. I'm not trying to raise my voice. And I ask, we obviously get into a conversation around what is it? What's your secret? You're 99 years old. And he gives his typical answer. And his answer is, number one, you don't smoke, so no smoking. Number two, you eat really well. Eat a good, balanced meal. And number three, most importantly, you marry a good woman. And you laugh and you're like, oh yeah, that's great. But recently, he's added to that. And he said, after a little bit more thinking about this and analyzing this and everything, he just all of a sudden somebody asked him, was in the doctor's office, and he's 101 years old now, just a couple of weeks ago, and someone asked him, he gave the regular spiel, but he said, you know what? It's not just about living long, but if you want to know how to be successful, how to be genuinely, happy in life and, have a place of peace, would you like to know that? Not just living a long life, but living a life worth living, essentially. And the guy's, well, absolutely. And he goes, well, there's three words that you want to take into consideration. Three words. Number one, thank you. Being grateful for what you have. Being really grateful for what you have. Saying thank you. Opens doors, connects with people, really helps you. Really develop relationships and friendships. Number two is please, asking for permission. So looking for an opportunity, respecting people's boundaries. And number three is forgive. I forgive you. I realize that what you did was wrong and it hurt me, but I forgive you. And will you forgive me? I'd like to have a better relationship. And, after he told me this just last week, I was like, wow, I've got to share this. And so it's simple. When I am 100 years old, which I fully intend to be, when I'm 100 years old, I told Don, I'm like, I want to outlive you. He's like, absolutely. Well, you keep going. I want people to be able to say, when they leave my presence, or when I die and they just talk about me, Scott was somebody that when I met with him, I left, having met with him, encouraged, inspired, and ready to face the world. And one of the key things about me as a person is my relationship with God. Not everybody has a relationship with God, and I totally understand and respect where they are. But I want people to say, wow, I felt such peace and such awareness of something about Scott. I'd like to know why he has the peace he does. I'd like to know why he's able to make me feel as encouraged and uplifted as I am. Or people who do have faith, I'd like for them to reinvestigate. How much do I know this Jesus? Is he just somebody that I know on the periphery, or is he somebody that I have an intimate connection with? Because after having spoken to Scott, I feel like I could know Jesus better. And there's more that he has to offer me. I'm taking for granted this relationship. And so my legacy, if you will, what I would like to see happen is I'd like for people to say, I felt inspired every time I had a real conversation with Scott. Whether or not they believe in God or they're been a believer, never believed in God, I want them to leave my presence with a sense that God loves them and God cares for them. And he has a plan for them. And he's patient with them. And that they've been given all the tools they need in order to accomplish that. And so that's where I am. And I could say that to you. Maybe there's something in your life where you feel like it's overwhelming and just beyond you. Realize God's love will fuel you through that. Jesus died for you, not just so that you could feel better about yourself, but so that you would know that he is your ally for the relationship with the Father. You don't have to accept that relationship. It's like a proposal. You know, when a man proposes to a woman, I've seen many of them, and I love them. You know, when a man proposes to a woman, it's the scariest moment of his life. Like, oh my gosh, what is she going to say if he's not sure about her love for him? But when he proposes to a woman that he knows that they have this relationship, it was just an automatic reaction, an automatic response. The next step in their relationship, there's not as much fear because of that intimacy. God proposed to you through Jesus, and he said, here am I. Do you take me? Do you take me? Because I want you. And what that looks like, just like with a proposal, that's a man saying, I'm laying down all of my worldly goods, and I'm asking you to take my name. I'm asking you to be a part of my family, and for me to be a part of your family, and for us to be one together. That's what Jesus did when he died for you. How can that not encourage you to realize somebody loves you that much? And yet, like all of us, I take for granted his love often. And I start to think I'm all alone in this crazy post-COVID world. But I'm not, and neither are you. It's pretty awesome. And so I'm here to tell you that God is on your side. And I want you to think this week about, or just the next few hours, about what is the legacy? What do I want people to say after I pass? What do I want my grandkids, my adult grandkids to say about me? And then, what can I do this week that would move me in the direction toward them saying that about me? What can I do right now that would move me in the direction of that? If I want people to say that I'm kind, well, how can I be kind this week? If I want people to say I'm forgiving, how can I be forgiving this week? If I want people to say I love Jesus, well, how can I fuel that love for Jesus? I want people to say that I'm a generous person. Well, how can I be generous this week? It's a simple question, and it will move you in the direction of the purpose for which God has created you. So, I am in your corner. I am praying for you. I'd love to hear from you. And I want you to have a great, awesome week filled with an awareness of God's love for you. So I'm Scott, and I'm signing out. Bless you and keep you.